Uncovering the Master Manipulators, Exploring the Psychology Behind Familial Betrayal. I'm Amelia Sullivan, a 52-year-old woman who once had it all: a loving family, a successful career, and a sense of purpose. But life has a way of throwing curveballs, and my world collapsed when I discovered the betrayal lurking in the shadows. It all started with a simple email, a message that turned my life upside down. Today I want to share my story, hoping it resonates with anyone who has faced betrayal from those they love the most. If you find value in my journey, don't forget to like and subscribe. Let's dive into this tangled web of manipulation and deceit. It was a typical Tuesday morning when the email arrived. I was sitting at my kitchen table, sipping coffee and planning my day. The subject line read, "Important Family Update." My heart raced. I opened it, and there it was. My mother-in-law, Ivy, had been spreading lies about me to my husband, Derek. My heart sank as I read the words. Amelia hasn't been successful in her career. She's a burden to our family. I was shocked. How could Ivy, a woman I had always respected, turn against me like this? I thought back to family gatherings where she'd always seemed supportive. Yet, beneath her smile, I sensed a growing jealousy. It wasn't the first time I had felt her icy gaze directed at me. I couldn't believe it had come to this. I needed to confront Derek. But would he believe me? As I prepared to speak with him, I remembered the family gathering last month. Ivy had made a snide remark about my recent career setback, but I brushed it off. Little did I know, she was planting seeds of doubt in Derek's mind. He had always been my biggest supporter, but Ivy had a way of twisting the truth to make me look like the villain. I finally gathered the courage to confront Derek that evening. He returned from work, looking tired but happy. As he settled into his chair, I took a deep breath. "We need to talk about Ivy," I said, my voice trembling. Derek looked confused, but I pressed on, detailing the contents of the email. To my dismay, he dismissed my concerns, saying I was overreacting. "Mom's just worried about you, Amelia. She loves you," he replied. I felt the words sting as I realized how easily Ivy had woven her deceitful web around him. I tried to explain how Ivy had always been manipulative, but he wouldn't listen. Days turned into weeks, and the tension grew. Derek became more distant, and I felt my heart shatter with every sarcastic comment Ivy made about my career. I desperately needed to prove my worth, not just to him, but to myself. I decided to devote my energy to my work, hoping that success would silence Ivy's lies. One evening, while cleaning out the attic, I stumbled upon old journals from Derek's childhood. As I flipped through the pages, I discovered entries detailing Ivy's manipulative tactics. "Mom made me choose between her and my friends," one entry read. It was a revelation that left me breathless. I wasn't just dealing with a jealous mother-in-law. I was facing a master manipulator. The journals ignited a fire within me. I realized I wasn't alone in this battle. I had a weapon of knowledge. I confided in my best friend, Nora, who had witnessed Ivy's behavior for years. Together, we devised a plan to expose Ivy's manipulations. I felt empowered for the first time in months. I decided to host a family dinner, thinking it would be the perfect opportunity to confront Ivy in front of Derek. I meticulously planned every detail, from the menu to the seating arrangements. My goal was to create an atmosphere where the truth could emerge without hesitation. That night, the table was set and the aroma of roasted chicken filled the air. As the family gathered, I felt a mix of excitement and dread. Ivy arrived, her smile wide and confident. I caught Derek's eye, silently urging him to see what I saw. As dinner progressed, I subtly challenged Ivy's comments, planting seeds of doubt in Derek's mind. "Mom, remember when you said Amelia was struggling?" I asked, feigning innocence. The tension in the room was palpable. Ivy's smile faltered, and I felt a rush of satisfaction. Derek, however, looked confused. "Mom only wants what's best for us," he interjected, but I could see the cracks forming in his defense. My heart raced as I realized I had to push harder if I wanted him to see the truth. After dinner, I decided to show Derek the journals. I led him to the attic, hoping he would understand the extent of Ivy's manipulation. As he read the entries, I watched his expression change from confusion to disbelief. "Why didn't you tell me this before?" he asked, his voice strained. I felt a mix of relief and anxiety. "I thought you wouldn't believe me," I admitted. "Ivy has been controlling you for years." Derek seemed to wrestle with his emotions. He finally agreed to confront Ivy. I felt a surge of hope. Perhaps we could finally break free from her hold. The next family gathering was filled with tension. Ivy arrived, a bright smile plastered on her face. I could sense the storm brewing beneath the surface. Derek and I exchanged glances, both knowing what was about to unfold. As the evening progressed, Derek finally spoke up. "Mom, we need to talk about what you've been saying about Amelia." The room fell silent. Ivy's expression shifted from joy to shock. She stammered, trying to defend herself, but I wouldn't let her. "You've been manipulating us for years, Ivy. It's time for the truth," I declared, my heart pounding. The confrontation escalated and I could see the facade crumbling. Ivy attempted to play the victim, but Derek stood firm. "We know what you've been doing. It ends now," he said, his voice steady. I felt a surge of pride as he finally stood up for me. The aftermath was chaotic. Ivy stormed out, leaving us in stunned silence. Derek turned to me, his eyes filled with regret. "I'm sorry I didn't believe you sooner," he said, tears welling in his eyes. In that moment, I realized the power of truth. We had taken a stand against manipulation, and it felt liberating. We had the chance to rebuild our relationship, free from Ivy's toxic influence. As the weeks passed, Derek and I worked to heal. We shared our feelings, and I felt a sense of closeness return. We also began to mend our relationship with Ivy, but on our terms. The experience taught me the importance of standing up for yourself. I had faced betrayal, but I emerged stronger. I learned that love can survive manipulation, but it requires honesty and courage to break free. In conclusion, I learned that family dynamics can be complicated, but by confronting the truth, we can overcome even the deepest betrayals. If you've ever faced manipulation, remember, your voice matters, and the truth will always find a way to shine through. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more stories of resilience and strength. Thank you for joining me on this journey.